points of articulation.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the 3 points of articulation. 3 bad dudes with figure reviews. My name is Jamie, the Big Tasty. I'm being joined with my co-hosts, Jonathan Fenton and Adam the Wrestling Man. How are you both doing? Adam?
Doing good. Bang, bang.
Arriba.
There we go. That's accurate, isn't it? Both of them. Great impressions. We've started off with the preludes into the podcast and a little look into our history and our backstory as to what got us to today, to 2020, the lovely year that it is. And this is the full-blown podcast. Exciting for all 3 of us, isn't it?
Yes, we'll get into the weeds in this one.
Straight into the weeds. Straight into them. So first up, we're going to have our news segment. We're going to be looking at all the latest news. Normally it will be since the previous episode, but as is episode 1, it's the most recent amount of news that we have. So we're back with the news.
News.
Here we are, episode 1 of the News World Order. So we're looking at all the recent news that's popped up, figure-related / wrestling-related. Jono, do you want to kick us off?
I can kick you off. We have news on the new battle packs. In fact, they may be completely changing the branding to be called Showdown. Do you want to know the lineups of the first series? Is Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss, The Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy, and Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. So, interesting one with Undertaker and Jeff Hardy. Are we thinking a 2002 ladder match with Undisputed Championship? Or is that too many accessories?
I can't think of any other time that they've crossed paths, to be honest. Not in a sense that they're going to need that. I think that's quite a famous match, wasn't it? Jeff Hardy was pitched as the upstart at the time, and Taker was the champion and sort of unbeatable at the time. And then it's a great match they had on Raw. So wouldn't surprise me if that's what they based it on.
Yeah, it was the one where Undertaker showed loads of respect to Jeff at the end? Am I right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he beat him up a few times, and Jeff just kept getting back up, which kind of made Undertaker think, well, I've only beaten him up 5 times, and he's still getting up. He's kind of all right. Yeah, kind of led to that whole run with Cena and things like that at the same time.
I think it's rare occasions where someone's looked stronger and come out the back of it stronger off a defeat, where they had very good booking back then. If you look at it then compared to now, where it would have been a 5-minute squash match if it was now. So yeah, I think it was very, very good booking at the time to sort of get Jeff to that next level.
Yeah, Undertaker was supposed to be a real big bad dude back then, though, wasn't he? So it was a little bit out of character, I think, for me.
Dead Man Inc., wasn't it? Taker.
Guess we'll start the face turn, I guess. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we have Series 2 of this also news being released. It's The Rock and Triple H, Booker T and Lashley, and Cena and Orton. None of them seem to really spike my interest. Certainly not Cena and Orton. What do you reckon?
I mean, Rock, Triple H, it's one that everyone remembers that's kind of from our era. You just picture the ladder match, SummerSlam, I think. But there's already been a Triple H basic released in the purple trousers. Has there been a Rock released of that?
Yes, it was the ringside exclusive. It came with a yellow ladder and a blue/purple Intercontinental Championship belt.
Lovely belt.
But yeah, I mean, with Triple H and The Rock, you could go many different ways. They've had so many matches throughout the years. Could go, 2000 or 2001. Not sure if they had many matches then, but obviously from anywhere from 97 to 2001, you'll find Triple H and The Rock.
Moving through to Mania 32, Ronda Rousey. 31.
Yeah.
That was it.
Just listened to a podcast about it.
Yeah. he beat Sting, didn't he? And,
no sold it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I think Yeah, it could be anything. More than likely, it's going to be from their sort of mid card rivalry then. But Booker T Lashley was one that sort of jumps out as to not a real rivalry that I remember anyway. I think Cena and Orton could be any point from 2007 through to 3 years ago, couldn't it? So
yeah.
I
I think with Booker and Lashley, it is just a period where I wasn't watching it all, so it's quite hard to know what was going on. But I did think they feuded when he was King Booker and that sort of thing. But knowledge is a little bit scarce in that era for me. Were you guys watching?
Not massively in that era, truth be told. Not a huge amount. I'm certain the only thing I can think of is when he was King Booker. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. But I personally, I think they're going to design the boxes a bit better. Maybe have something in the background of the boxes to make the minimum card collectors want to pick it up or something. But we'll have to have a look and see when the boxes come out. But there's got to be something a bit different to the battle packs to make them change over. So we'll have to wait and see.
Do you definitely think this is a changeover, or are we going to see battle packs alongside the showdown?
Doesn't really make sense on the theme of the battle packs, because a lot of the battle packs haven't been tag teams. They've been the rivalries, which is what these seem to be. So for me, it would probably be a replacement.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I think battle packs have gone a bit dry recently, haven't they? So a nice little shake-up will be welcomed, but hopefully they just sort of go a different way. Maybe include some more accessories in there that make more sense than some of them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go with it.
Yeah, hopefully more accessories to make them stand out a bit better.
And speaking of accessories, we've got some 2 lovely accessories with this next bit of news. So the WrestleMania 3, I guess they're basics, but they're called the WrestleMania Celebration series. We've got Macho Man and Andre the Giant. They're both coming with the carts that used to cart them to the ring, basically. Sort of like the Royal Rumble, when people used to get on the carts and go down before you can see it. So, yeah, you got Macho Man, obviously from his match with the Dragon, or Ricky Steamboat. And obviously you got Andre with Hogan. So it'll be interesting to sort of see what the box is going to look like for that. Is it going to have the background of the crowd or the entrance way or something? Once again, hopefully it's something that's for minimum collectors, but looking at the size of the carts that are coming with it, it's going to be flat packed and a build yourself job here. What's your view on Adam?
Yeah, I mean, just talking about them from a personal point of view, big ups to Mattel on that, because I couldn't imagine a better accessory from kind of my childhood watching videos memory. Just absolutely love the carts that took them to the ring. Did we hear any news about, are they coming together or are they separate?
Separate.
They are, yeah.
Coming separate, so 2 lots of money basically, but kind of it'll make the carts maybe a little bit better if they're coming separate, because obviously more space to put them, so they might be better.
Right. Well, with that said, you're going to have to make the carts something special, because the price point, at least on Ringside Collectibles, is $25.99, which is, I don't know if it's above or the same as a normal Elite. So, and these are basic figures.
I would, for that money, I would want the cart to be moving by itself, to be honest. I think if the figure's not going to cost that, but I think they are going to be a collector's piece. It's good to see that they're going a different direction, because it's not like a reproduce. I don't think Jack's ever made these carts.
No, I don't think anyone's ever made these.
No.
They are pretty unique, but it's also at the same time something that's it's quite like surprising that we've never ever seen them in a figure form, because they are so iconic.
Yeah, definitely. I think once again, also the render pictures can't show soft goods, so it wouldn't surprise me if Macho Man had something like an accessory to go on top of him, and maybe Andre had not much you can really do with Andre, but had something to go with him as well. But I think if that's the case, mint on card is going to look a lot better than it will do loose. But people want those carts, don't they? It's going to look good for presenting.
Yeah, you're going to have to get them out of the box, I reckon. Got to have a bit play on with them. In fact, to be honest, the figures themselves aren't going to be very sought after. how many Andres are we seeing with the black signet? And we've also got that Macho Man before, both in basic and in elite. Maybe a slight colour difference here or there, but both them figures, you could have done something else with them, I'm sure.
Yeah, the prices shocked me a little bit on those ones. People will pay it, but like you say, you'll have hundreds of adverts saying, I only bought these for the cart, so I'm selling the figure. Does anybody want to buy it?
Absolutely flooding eBay with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to keep an eye on those. Adam, what's your piece of news?
Yeah, mine's from Storm Collectibles. So the most recent Storm Collectible that was out was Jushin Thunder Liger, as you can see here if you're watching on the video one. I've got the iconic one with the red and white attire. There is a couple of other variants as well. There was a black and gold one, which was Ringside Collectibles, and there was a limited edition blue one with 300, just 300 made. So that was supposed to be coming to all the UK shops in the next month or so, but it's actually been pulled. Doesn't mean it's completely gone. It might still be available in America, but it's been pulled to make way for Storm's latest figure, which is Jushin Thunder Liger. But this time from his most recent kind of finale run that he's had. I have seen a few images, which hopefully we'll have on the screen. It's very, very similar to the one that I just showed you. It's got a kind of silver top instead of gold. And the mask has got a little bit of blue in it as well, but it could easily have been recalled so that they can kind of change the figures, a little bit of paint job here and there. I don't know. It's all speculation that I'm doing here, but it might have been. It seems very strange to follow Liger with Liger. What do you reckon on that?
Well, I think there's just not enough difference in colour for me, but also at the same time, I'm only a flashback collector. So if this represents his more recent runs, I'm not going to be interested in that. But it's a smart way of doing it, to be honest. If they're going to tweak a few things here or there, everyone's going to, who already bought the previous Liger, are going to want this one as well. So it's a way to make money. I think they'll do well with it still. And a very toyetic kind of guy, really.
Yeah, he's massive in Japan, isn't he? I think the Japan wrestling scene was massive at the moment. I remember, is it WWF event or WCW back in the early 90s or late 80s that sold out a massive Japanese arena. So there's a big market for over there. And you got to think, on the whole, who's going to buy these? Figure collectors, wrestling fans. If you get a variant of something that's going to be sought after as much as the previous one. So people won't want 1 and 2 without getting the third one as well. So I think that's probably why they've had a little bit of a change in it. It must have sold really well for them to bring this up. So it makes sense to be business-wise, but I'm not a massive Liger fan, so wouldn't be for me.
Alternatively, you would have people like me that is very content with just that, though, who wouldn't be interested in getting the other one. And like you say, John, I wanted this because of the kind of early 90s WCW run. Whereas the most recent run, although it was brilliant and it's the finale of a fantastic wrestler, it's not something that I'm interested in at this time. So I'd be quite content with that. So I do think they'll lose some audience that a new figure would have caught.
Yeah, I mean, just because they're re-releasing or repeating this doesn't mean that they are missing out on releasing new figures. They might have just not had anyone else to release at the moment. Who knows? I don't know much about Stone Collectibles, but I hope to see more of them.
Yeah, they've released there's some strange releases. They had the Hogan, they've got the Liger, they've had Mike Tyson, and they had a cancelled Dennis Rodman figure as well. It might have even gone ahead, but it was very under the radar, Dennis Rodman, which was ironic for him. But yeah, I think we look forward to sort of seeing what else is going to be releasing. There seems to be a lot of individual, unique figure companies releasing wrestling figures, which is quite good to see. I know Andre has got a Super 7 figure coming out soon as well, so a bonus bit of news for everyone. So it'd be quite interesting to see sort of who else gets into the figure game.
Sure. And leading on from new toy companies, we've got Chiller Toys who have just seemingly come from nowhere with the Nick Aldis Hasbro-esque type figure. We'll get that up on the screen. We have seen in the last couple of weeks both the prototype and the backing cards. The prototype, he's wearing his like red style tights. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. And he's in a sort of position that you would find maybe the Macho Man's first release or Rick Martel. This looks to be smashing down. Backing cards probably more of a talking point because it's very similar to Hasbro and it has a very similar logo to the old WWF. So what do you think, guys?
Yeah, I've literally just seen it today, and the first thing that came into my head was they're going to face a trademark issue. It's ridiculously similar. Obviously, Mattel have done it. I'm guessing Mattel for their range for the retros had some kind of deal with Hasbro. I might be wrong there. You guys might know more than me on that one. But yeah, that the first thing was the trademark issue. I think they're going to face problems there.
Certainly hope not.
Very, very strange. I think they had to have something similar, but to be almost exactly the same is even like the card cut and everything. The what do they call it where you put it on the pegs? Even that's very much the same. It's just very, very, very strange. So I think you're right, Adam. I think they could be having some choice words with them at some point soon. But yeah, unless they've cut a deal with Hasbro.
Well, can I shock you? I actually really like it. It is a really good card. I really like the appearance. If they are going to release more of these, I think it'd be a cracking looking figure on the card because it's a sort of colouring that's reminiscent of both the Hasbros and the Jakks Classic Superstars, which are probably two of the most renowned sort of packaging that we see amongst collectors. What do you reckon of that sort of mix up? Do you think, or I'm talking absolute BS?
No. I think if you like Hasbro and you might be into the retros and stuff, I think it's perfect. But is it too perfect that it's too similar? I think that's the only issue that might pop up. What about the actual figure itself? I mean, as soon as I saw it, I knew who it was, which is always a good sign straight away. I think it's quite good, the actual figure itself.
Yeah, I think you picked up two. Didn't you pick up two, Johnny?
I've got two on pre-order. At the time, I hadn't seen any sort of pictures or anything. I just sort of thought, all right, there's only 200. I might regret not buying it, so I've got two coming once they are ready to ship.
I think you definitely would have regretted buying it if you'd have seen the pictures after not pre-ordering it. So obviously, knowing we like to collect, I think it's going to be a good set. If they are going to release more and more in that mold, then I think that's going to be a sought after one going forward in the future. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good pre-order from both the collecting side and the business side of things, Johnny.
I can probably see him in WWE in the next couple of years, I reckon. Obviously, his missus is in there, Mickie James. And he's a big enough name to kind of make an impact in WWE, at least short term, probably leading on knowing WWE to announcer work or commentator work. But yeah, I think he's got the skills to be quite good in WWE, I'd say.
Is he English?
Yes, he's English.
We could find
he was in the Gladiators, Oblivion, I think he was, in the more modern day Gladiators.
There we go. Well, we could finally get an English world champion.
No, English, yeah. Has there not been an English one? I guess not.
British. Just Drew McIntyre, but
yeah,
he was the first.
Crazy.
Next bit of news. Adam, what have you got?
That's me done.
Oh, you're done with news. Oh, skip back to me then. The AEW figure delays. Speaking of new companies, Jazzwares have obviously emailed every company under the sun to tell them that there's been a delay. Obviously, our Facebook was flooded with it when the announcement came out. So basically, we're getting Wave 2 before we get Wave 1, which is essentially like watching Mighty Ducks 2 before you've seen the first one. yeah, you're gonna be happy about it, but you're not gonna get the full story, are you? So I think it doesn't make a lot of sense why they're doing that. Albeit I'm not overly disheartened by it. I think we want a Jericho, we want a Cody, but the figures we've had before, more exciting is the ones that are coming up in season 2, the MJFs, the Pentagons. So I think a lot of people still will buy them and collect them, but it's just very strange why they've done it that way. I think there's got to be some sort of distribution issue from there. What's your view on it, Jono?
I believe it's more of a quality issue, in fact, Jamie. And
Oh, is it?
I think Jazzwares themselves have even said that they weren't happy with some of the quality on the Series 1, so are going to redo them to some effect. So therefore, that's the reason for the delay of Series 1.
That's good. Yes, that's.
I probably disagree with your analogy about, like, you know, you don't have to really get Series 1 before 2 and so on and so on, because, you know, it's not like you need to know the story of Series 1 of a figure before you get.
I need to know. I need it first. It's Wave 1. My OCD needs it. And you can't get season 1 before you get season 2. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, Wave 2
Like
isn't.
Terminator 2, you mean?
Well, I don't mention.
You got Terminator 2 before the first one.
But yeah, I think you can't get Wave 2 before you get Wave 1. It doesn't make a whole heap of sense to me. It's just, yeah. I mean, unless they want to change Wave 2 to Wave 1 and then vice versa, but I think they're too far into it now. It's just, yeah, I'm glad to hear that it's a manufacturing issue and a quality issue rather than it being distribution, because at least we're going to get a really decent product, but just a bit of a strange one for me.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it because I did order another Liger because I've opened this one. So I ordered another Liger from Big Pop Shop on pre-order, and because that's not coming in anymore, that money's being transferred over to Wave 2. So I get some of Wave 2 as well. So hopefully, the pessimist in me kind of thinks that everyone's had a bit of a downer on Series 1, so Wave 1. So maybe they're not releasing them in the UK so that people will buy Wave 2, or the shops at least will order Wave 2 in. They've already ordered the Wave 1 in, whereas if they got Wave 1, they might have not ordered Wave 2 because of the quality. So that's the pessimist in me saying it. But the optimist in me is saying that hopefully, like Jono said, they are going to put a bit more effort into Series 1 and make them a little bit better if they've got a bit more time.
Yeah, the theory's definitely a bit more making sense there. But you say with the quality of, have we seen the other Series 2 release yet? Have we seen actual images?
Yeah, there's been images.
I'm on about like in hand. Have people received it yet?
Oh, no one's actually received it yet.
Yeah.
They've just been the general pictures with John Moxley's tiny head.
Yeah, but I think MGF looked phenomenal and from that series.
Best one on the line he looked by far.
Never wanted to punch a figure before.
Speaking of him being the best one in the line, Toys and Mass released a statement in that they're going to be getting 2 assortments of Series 2. The first assortment will be Hangman ×2, Dustin ×2, Ray Phoenix ×1, and Pentagon ×1, with assortment B being Hangman ×2, Dustin ×2, MGF ×1, and John Moxley ×1. So we're talking for every one of MGF or the Lucha Brothers, we're getting 4 Dustins and 4 Hangman Page. Wow.
I think the Hangman one is good because obviously people only want Hangman. Also, we've had a few Dustins, Gold Dust, Natural, Dusty Rhodes, etc. Dustin Rhodes, sorry. So I think, it will sell a bit more than the others because of being toyetic, but 4 times more than the others? Strange one. Maybe they're easy to make.
Depending on how many we get over here, and just see Dustin shelf warming, if that's the case for all around. It, like what Toys and Masks have said, whether Smiths get the same assortment, we don't know. But if that's going to be a constant throughout every retailer, Dustin will be hanging around quite a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think in the shops, because obviously a lot more kiddies visit the shops, something like Dustin and the way that he looks will sell, at least at first. But the online retailers, I think they'll definitely be peg warming.
Yeah.
Shame, really. I think the Page one might sell because everyone wants to finish the Elite, didn't they? So I think obviously people will pick up Page, but yeah, 4 times is just ludicrous. And I think the Pentagon Junior figure looks fantastic.
Yeah, great figures, them Lucha Brothers.
Great wrestlers as well. That's right. Jono, any more news for us?
A couple more bits. We have seen that the Royal Rumble series, next Royal Rumble series, has been released with the names but no attires yet. We've got the Ultimate Warrior, we've got Titus O'Neil, Umaga, and another Stone Cold. Shall we fantasy book which attires we might see from here? So, Ultimate Warrior first. What do you think? I think we've already got quite a few of the Royal Rumble attires.
I'll go 89 on that one.
89 was kind of like all white.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one for me, because the video case for me is
yeah, that's true.
So I think that would be my favourite one.
I heard some speculation that they might try and recreate the poster from Royal Rumble 91, where he's wearing sort of a jeans and a waistcoat and things like that. I think it might be an interesting figure if they did that. Certainly something different.
I saw a customizer actually doing the whole front of that cover, like Earthquake and Jake and people. It looked really good. So that could be a line for them.
I kind of hope they do that, in fact, because there wouldn't be much differentiation from other figures we've seen. I think the 1990 was loosely based on it. I think we got a basic of that, so I'm happy with that. I can't remember 1988 though. Maybe that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I can't remember. He was in it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the attire. Anyway, Titus O'Neil, I've heard it's probably definitely going to be the greatest Royal Rumble attire. Where he slid under the ring.
I think they've got to do something with the box for that, a la Shockmaster.
If possible, on his side going down, something like that. Just rather than like being a straight up figure, it could be on a slide.
Yeah, I think that, and then the bottom of the box being the ring skirt. But
needs to come with an entrance great sound box with just Corey Graves laughing. That'd be awesome for me.
Oh God, no, thank you. I do not want to hear more Corey Graves laughing.
Or talking.
Yeah, well, in some respects, sometimes it make a lot of sense, but other times, I think we're going off on a tangent a bit. Umaga, what can we do different with Umaga?
Last man standing match with Cena, is anyone that rings a bell?
Yeah, he had a big match against Cena, but I can't remember a different attire, or was there any stipulation in that match? I remember Cena bust the ring open to choke out Umaga to win. Is that right?
Yes, there's a last man standing or an I Quit match, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got rave reviews, that match, so I'm guessing that's what it's from.
I think I watched it at the time, which is quite unusual. I was only catching the Royal Rumble, possibly WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah, same.
And our old favourite Stone Cold. What can we do to Stone Cold? Royal Rumble Stone Cold.
Is it the 2001 Austin? I say that as if it's different to anything else. Yeah, there's not much we can really do with Austin. I mean, the Rumble attire, maybe 98 Rumble, but once again, any different to any other Rumble? No, it's not.
I'm trying to think of a colour variant. I mean, we've had the red on the waistcoat, we've had the white, we've had the silver. Was there anything else?
I think the only thing was different was when he was a ringmaster in '96, and he had like a black trunks with white boots. But I can't see them release another ringmaster.
Did he get eliminated by accident in that Rumble? Am I right there?
Yeah, he did. He got clotheslined by, I think it was Rikishi or Fatu. And apparently there's so much grease on the ropes, it just slipped.
I didn't know
so that could be a moment.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in the final 4. So there's like a big push, and he went out. So you can actually see him at the back of the ring, basically trying to get back in. The referee's being like, obviously not. No, you're out.
I really never knew that. It's a good bit of trivia.
Yeah, exactly. What other news have you got for us? We should call you Jon Snow, the amount of news that you've got.
All right, last one. We are getting an upcoming Jeff Hardy Ultimate. This is going to be an Amazon exclusive, and on WWE.com they have a vote where you can choose which attire we're going to get from. I'll lay out the choices. Apparently, we got SmackDown on the 19th of December 2008. That's my birthday, by the way. Armageddon 2008 or WrestleMania 25. As far as I'm aware, I don't really know the difference, other than the fact that at SmackDown and Armageddon, he was the WWE champion, or he won the WWE championship.
I think, isn't it? They're turning it into more of a. You said an ultimate one, didn't you? So it's going to be arms, it's going to be heads, it's going to be everything that you could possibly want. So they're probably going to do face painted, non-face painted, half face painted, arms, sleeves on, sleeves off, no arms at all. It's going to be everything that you could possibly want, and hopefully puts the face paint Jeff Hardy to bed.
I've seen the pictures, and one of them is a very kind of smudged face, as in like he's been through the match and it's kind of half rubbed off, half not. I think there was a Warrior that was released like that. So that one looks a little bit different to the ones that we've had so far.
Yeah, I think what Jamie said is probably going to be the way to go with it. It's probably going to have the two heads, one with the full base paint and one with the rubbed. I think Armageddon, he won the championship for the first time, didn't he? So that's probably where you'll see the face paint.
Possibly, and then lost it to Orton, didn't he? I think a month later.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge run, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. No. But
so which one would you choose?
Well, all the same to me. Truth be told, that's sort of where we missed it. So, yeah, any or just give me a more attitude era Jeff Hardy's. I'll be happy. Not this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the best Jeff Hardy is the Survivor Series one from last year. I think that's an amazing figure. I think it was Survivor Series. That was an amazing figure. The rest of them really just mold into one for me. They're nice figures and they will sell, but not for me.
Yeah, well, if you're not going to pick one, I guess I'll have to say I'll probably opt for the WrestleMania 25. I think it's always better to have an iconic WrestleMania attire rather than a random SmackDown, even though it was on my birthday. But yeah. Let's go for WrestleMania, I think.
Lovely. And that's everything for news this week. Little cheeky fact for you both. Germany cage matches there's been at WrestleMania.
Off the top of my head. I can only think of one.
Correct. The answer is one. Only
one
cage match. Bundy and Hogan. There's a little bonus bit for you there. Lovely. Well, next up we have pick-me-ups.
Oh, some lovely pick-me-ups.
And here we are. This is for pick-me-ups. Next, our next segment coming up, where we're going to look at each of the figures / merchandise / anything wrestling related that we've picked up in the last couple of weeks or so. Adam, do you want to kick us off with some lovely little pick-me-ups that you've got?
Yeah, definitely. All mine are eBay this week. There's a bit of a complete vary of things. I think I'll show everything, and then obviously we can talk about everything individually. So first one is, first two, I say, are the two Christians. We've got the Chase from the recent series, and then the one where he was kind of going on his own from many moons ago.
At last, his own. As an entrance song used to say. Remember? Christian!
Indeed. We've got personally one of my favourite wrestlers at the moment. I don't think he's quite hitting his potential at the moment, but definitely one of the best people I've seen live in a while, which is Ty Dillinger. Obviously Sean Spears now in AEW, so expect an AEW figure down the line as well. Expect him to hit more of his potential when the Four Horsemen, if that trademark comes in. I have no idea on the authenticity of this, but I've picked it up nice and cheap. I think this was actually in one of the Facebook groups, not eBay, which is a signed TNA Matt Morgan figure. And the very last one, figure-wise, that I got is I picked up these just because I saw them cheap. I've never really had any interest in them, but they're the nano metal fig type things. Detail on them is horrendous, but I thought it was a nice little pack. There's quite a lot in there. I think there's about 20 in there. Might make a nice prize for the FWL, maybe, if I don't appreciate it as much as I could. And non-figure related, I've got myself a nice Sid Kilncraft mug to add to my collection. So Undertaker, Bret Hart, and a better Legion of Doom one to go. Discuss.
What a mug.
Is that a Toys R Us stamp on the top of the metal?
Yes, it is.
Oh, the memories. There it is.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, I think Matt Morgan, I remember him from 2003 run WWE that he had. He's quite a lot bigger in TNA, wasn't he? So I think, and a lot of the TNA figures seem to be coming back now into fruition, should we say. They've recently signed, obviously, Brian Myers, who was Kurt Hawkins. So to see a new release line of figures for TNA wouldn't surprise me. I quite enjoy it, actually. They've got a quite good roster over there, so it'll be quite good to see if they do release any future ones.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the TNA figure line, but there are two or three that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the Joker Sting figure. I thought that was really good. The Bully Ray figure I thought was actually better than any of his Mattel Dudley Boys figures that have been released. Obviously a bit too oversized compared to the Mattels. And the Shark Boy, just for general different figure-ness, I thought was really good as well. But this one's good. It's the deluxe one. And the facial scan on it is pretty good for Matt Morgan. I think he does a podcast now, quite a big one.
I believe he's some sort of a governor, senator. I don't know what the word is over there, but I think he's into politics now. Maybe a mayor of a town. Yeah, that's probably it.
Maybe he can go and help our country out. Maybe. I'll go next because I think mine's quite a small one compared to yours too. I've got the baby or the child into playing the retros. So I've got the little ring out and we smashed the retros about. So I picked up a Rock and I picked up an Ambrose. Got a mint on card for the same price as Loose, which was quite nice. I got these all from Wrestle HQ, so it's quite nice. But yeah, we put the ring down, we play with him, he sort of pops the Goldberg up in the air, and then after a while he gets bored and tries to get in the ring himself, and via the stairs each time, which is weird. He didn't just climb straight in, he has to try and climb the little stairs, which is strange. I also got a ringside exclusive Jericho, which I've been looking at for a while now. I finally managed to convince myself that he will fit in my Attitude Era, even though it's from a 2003, 2004 Jericho. Yeah, picked him up. It was 25 quid, so it was quite good price-wise. But yeah, I've been looking at them for a while. I've wanted a Jericho, so there we go.
The thing with that Jericho is that it's an excellent figure in terms of its decor and that sort of thing, but the face is horrendous on that one.
Yeah, I think the goatee especially, I think, could be a bit longer. I see what you mean about the face-wise, though. It looks less like Jericho, more like Yvonne Atkins from Bad Girls. But yeah, he's
a random reference.
Yeah, I looked at him then and thought, that's Yvonne Atkins from Bad Girls. There he is.
Of course, we all thought that.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought I've been looking at it for a while, mainly because of the deco, and obviously one of my favourite Jerichos was that era of Jericho. So
yeah, I was literally going to say exactly the same as Jonathan. The figure itself is a beautiful figure. I got it, but the face-wise, it reminds me of an old Titantron Live Gangrel, if I'm allowed to say that, David Heath, that was produced with a really weird-looking kind of almost a melted face in a way. That one has, but yeah, it always seems to stay around the same value, that one as well, around the £20 to £30 mark. Doesn't seem to go down or up.
Yeah, Wolfgang might not be happy you said that.
No, well, the contract's out. We discussed that earlier. Yeah, it's right between on condition, certainly. Okay. Your pick-me-ups this week.
Is that it, Jamie? Nothing else?
I said it was quite scarce. Yeah, there's nothing else I already fancied the last couple of weeks. It's been quite a dry back end. It's almost payday, Jonathan, so maybe it'll pick up in a few weeks. See what I'm allowed.
Maybe next time, huh?
Yeah, my pocket money.
With the Undertaker the collector's edition, Elite 79. Magnificent that Smith's actually got an exclusive in. I believe this represents the match, or the last sort of wrestling match he had with McIntyre as a partner. Do you think that, or am I wrong?
Again,
I have heard that.
So, not really something I would pick up normally, but I'm going to keep this one in the box. I'm going to display it with my Undertaker replica belt, the Legacy belt. So I'll put it with a little mini Undertaker collection, I think.
I saw someone in one of the Facebook groups put a purple light inside the box.
Yeah,
Which
look interesting.
Yeah, it looked quite good. Quite creative.
That was from Smith's, and also from Smith's, I pre-ordered quite a while ago, thinking maybe the Canes would sell quick, but I guess not. But it's still a pretty nice figure, although lacking a bit of detail on the belt. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for me, same about the belt. I always think the Kane figures are slightly too thin for him. But yeah, there's some silver missing on the belt, is there?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
right.
Yeah.
I actually think that the body's all right, but yeah, maybe it could be a tad bit bigger. I guess.
Is it a Survivor Series chair that I see in there?
That's right. The Survivor Series 2001. This was
I tried
based,
to like them chairs, but
yeah, quite a unique attire. If there was another way to go with Kane, that was it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember as a child, I think that they had that as either a Titantron or an early Ruthless Aggression figure that came.
It was the R3, I think, R3
Yeah,
chair.
but I remember they had that, and a friend of mine had it, and I never picked it up. I never saw it. So I think that always gives me anger towards that Kane attire. But yeah, it's from the Invasion angle, Kane, wasn't it?
Yeah, Survivor Series WWF team.
It's a good one of my favourite Survivor Series. That was.
I missed it. I was in complete radio silence at this point. I just moved to Norway. I didn't have internet. I didn't have Sky. I didn't have anything. I was literally just watching.
£3.60 for a loaf of bread.
Oh,
is that what it costs now?
It's not as low as that.
I think it was about $1.50 when I was there, something like that, or maybe £2. But yeah, things are expensive in Norway, but the money's good. Right, so next, just arrived. I ordered them about a month or two ago. These from eBay USA. I got Bobby Heenan from Legends, Series 7. Razor Ramon as well. These two are quite easy to get, but now Greg Valentine, he seems to be the money maker from the series. The money maker for the scalpers anyway. I hate that word. I shouldn't have said it. Resellers.
So the two things that I've heard about that series, the Razor one I haven't heard. I've just seen it. It doesn't seem to be selling well, even when people have got it on quite cheap on eBay. Seems to be lasting quite a long time. The Bobby the Brain Heenan, I was listening to, thanks to you, Jonathan. I was listening to the Major Brothers podcast the other day, and I heard that the suit is ridiculously hard to get off. Obviously, you've got it in box, but apparently it's really difficult to get that suit off.
Well, I will be opening them soon. It's just when I get round to it. I tend to build up boxes and boxes before I even open. I'll get round to it.
I've got mine in there. Yeah. Mine's in the bedroom there. I can go and pick him up and we have a little look. It comes with the two sets of hands. You got the fingers and you got the closed fists. Obviously, I've displayed mine half Weasel suit off just so I can show the brain finger. So I've sort of gone like Kurt Angle before he goes for an ankle lock, but as a Bobby Brain Heenan with the finger on. So that's how I've displayed mine. But it's quite a good figure next to Andre. It looks quite good.
Might copy that the way of displaying, because I was thinking about just using the wrestling attire, because I was quite familiar with WrestleMania 4 and Survivor Series 89, where Bobby Heenan was actually in the matches and wrestled with his singlet on. So that's quite iconic to me, just in the singlet.
Yeah, it's probably one that should be in my collection, but when I first saw it, I wasn't really enamoured with the face. So I think I'll wait until it probably triples in price and then buy it because I need it.
I quite like the leggings. Look quite good. The sort of tights. You probably got he's wearing a weasel costume. You can't really see him, but yeah, he's got tights underneath. Obviously, like he wore at Mania, which are quite. Yeah, you can't really sort of overly see it. There's a few little details in there on that figure, which I quite like. So I picked mine up a few weeks back, so sadly didn't make it into this weekly purchases. But I got a Valentine, I got a Bobby, and yeah, I think they're just must-haves, aren't they?
Pretty much, I think so. Anyway, being a flashback collector.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else for this week?
One last thing, a quite monumentous occasion. I have, courtesy of an eBay auction, completed my Hasbro collection.
Oh,
It was mainly, I bought the full figure, Brutus the Bar of Beefcake, Series 2, is that right, or 3? I'm not sure. I never had the black scissors, so now I do, and I now believe that my collection of Hasbros is complete. The only omissions are King the Ring, the Bret Hart mail-away, and the Undertaker mail-away, which I don't find different enough to add to the collection.
no, you got the Purple Heart, haven't you? Which is already in the later series. So.
Yeah.
So how do you distinguish that the scissors are definitely not a repro, because there's so many people doing the reproductions now?
I think I've just compared them to the red scissors I've got, and I know that there's the kind of majority black, so I can see the black coming through here a little bit, so kind of suggests that it is the real one. I should probably really get to one and verify, but I'm pretty confident they are the real ones.
To wait and see. Hopefully you hopefully that is it for you now on the Hasbro. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, the King of the Ring is probably something I may pick up, and I might even allude to that in a future segment.
It is to the ground. We'll have a listen out for it.
There's another teaser.
Yeah, so that's it for Pick Me Ups this week. Next, we've got our weekly talking point, and it's on Grail items. We'll be back in 2 seconds. And now we have our weekly talking point, where we're going to discuss, or fortnightly, should we say, actually, because it's a fortnightly podcast, where we're going to discuss different things that are appearing a lot more frequently in the sort of wrestling figure world, and pop our opinions across to each other and have a chat about it. This week, first episode, we've got the Grail items, and what we hear quite a lot nowadays is people saying about their Grails. So it's really what we class as a Grail, and what we think about the overall term of Grails, really. Adam, do you want to kick us off? What do you think about the term Grail?
Yeah, I mean, people are obviously using it in many different varieties. If I'm going to give my personal opinion, a Grail for me is a figure that's actually already out, and that you've been searching for, or you've been finding really difficult to pick up for a long, long, long time, for whatever reasons, whether you can't get it because it's rare, whether it's too expensive, whether it's American, whatever, just anything that's really difficult to get that you've been searching for a while, such as myself, it was J.J. Dillon from the Build-A-Figure series. It was years that I've been looking for one at the correct kind of price for me, at the correct kind of just the condition of it and things like that. And one that I've been building up to, and in my head, I've been thinking about it every time I've been on eBay and things like that. So yeah, for me, that's the definition of a Grail, is one that's already out, that you've been searching for a while, and for whatever reason, you haven't got.
Interesting. I think you've got a good point, and it's almost certainly the basis of what I would consider it as well. I do want to touch upon the fact that I just think we see it too much. We see it all the time. I think someone posted that they got like one of the recent elites and saying, "Oh, I've just got my Holy Grail of a figure." I'm not so sure about that. Sure, it might be a figure they've wanted for quite a while, but for it to be a sort of Holy Grail, well wanted, you do have to have the conditions of it being rare, It's been out for a considerable amount of time, and I think it has to have a considerable amount of value as well. So anything that costs £20, you can't consider that a Grail. Anything that's just come out, you can't consider that a Grail. So, I mean, for myself, I would have to look at something like the King of the Ring, Hasbro ring. This is going from upwards of 500 to 1,000 or even more. I haven't really checked on it myself. And I wouldn't even consider the likes of Crush and Lance Storm, which I need to fill up my Jax figure collection, which are currently valued by what I've seen recently is over £100. I haven't seen it cheaper each, and I wouldn't consider those to be Grails. So with those two examples I've laid out, what do you guys think? Would you consider the Jax figures Grails?
I think if you've been looking for them for a while, but the price point hasn't been there, then yeah, I think a lot of it is personal. That's why it's called a personal Grail. The actual description of a Grail, I'm going to read this from my phone, is something that you very much, something that you want very much, but that is very hard to get or achieve. The cup, which is known as the Grail, is said to have been used by Jesus Christ, and that was sought by knights through the Middle Ages. So that's basically what they class as a Grail, something that you can't get hold of, basically. Something that you've been searching for 5-10 years and you can't get hold of.
Yeah.
It's very different to being cheap. Now, my version of being cheap is the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels in the Ringside Collectibles red and white attire. That you very rarely find that for less than 50-60 quid. That's just me being cheap. That's not a Grail. I want it, but I don't want to pay 50-60 quid for it. It's very different to oh, that's a Grail of mine. It's not. Just put your hands in your pocket and buy it. It's not much of a Grail. The JJ Dillon, on the other hand, very different because this very rarely comes up, and when it does come up, it's an extortionate amount of money for what it is. I think for yours, John, the Lance Storm and the Crush, I haven't seen them pop up at all. And as you said, I think you don't want to pay 2-3 times the amount of what it's actually worth just to get them. But yeah, I think a lot of it is down to personal. And I think £100 plus for a figure definitely puts it into Grail territory.
So let me fire this one at you then. I'm not saying this is my opinion, but it's from my personal experience, but with a very over-exaggerated story about it. So the first title change that I ever saw in WWE was Juventud Guerrero. This is live. Was Juventud Guerrero defeated Nunzio for the Cruiserweight title on SmackDown.
Right.
Let's pretend for say that was my first title match, which it was. That was my favourite match. Enjoyed it as much as I possibly could. I've thought about it ever since. Nothing's ever eclipsed that match. Obviously, WWE and Juventud Guerrero aren't on the best of terms, as a lot of people aren't with Juvi. There's never been a figure released with the mask off. Let's say that WWE in Elite 83 suddenly released the Juventud Guerrero in the exact attire that I've been looking for and dreaming about for £20. Is that a Grail?
Absolutely not. Because if you look at the definition Jamie just gave us, it's not hard to get. It's not hard to achieve. You can just go to the shop, buy it online straight away.
But it has been hard to achieve for all them years.
Yeah, but that actual item, the item itself, the item itself is not a Grail. The moment might be, or the actual idea of it is. It's just that actual item which we're referring to is not a Grail piece. It's just an idea you've been waiting for, basically. I think that's why it gets thrown around so much, isn't it? I think we've been waiting for the Kane attire from 2001 in Mattel version. You know, if it comes out, it's not a Grail. It's just a Kane in an attire. In 20 years' time, it could be a Grail if it becomes a bit more sought after. So I think that's where we're getting a bit confused nowadays with the term of Grail versus wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've also touched upon it. We keep saying Grails, plural. I think you can only have one. Once you achieve the Grail, you bought the Grail, you got a Grail, you can qualify to get a new one. Like Adam just bought the JJ Dillon, might have another one in mind now. But having multiple Grails kind of dilutes the idea of it being something that's hard to achieve, or something that's
Holy.
as you said, it was Jesus Christ searching for this one thing. Only one exists.
Well, it's
So
medieval people searching for Jesus Christ's cup. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
There's
give a
only
fuck.
one. There's only one cup, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless he had multiple cups, like
Like,
Adam Christ over there.
we definitely had 12 mugs anyway, didn't we? Yeah, so I think that's where we will agree on the point of Grail. Is just, there should just be one, and then once you've completed that one, you then qualify for another one. That's sort of where, I think what the meaning is. Yeah, Grails, plural doesn't make any sense. It's got to be one holy Grail, a la Indiana Jones and Monty Python.
Underrated or superstar?
And welcome to the episode 1 of Underrated Our Superstar, where we're going to be discussing all the figures that we think don't get the due that they deserve. Really, most important thing with it, I'd say, is just to pop it over to a fans vote. All of you guys out there can have a look and let us know which ones you think. We'll do a little Hall of Fame, underrated Hall of Fame, to decide which one we think is the most underrated out of all of them. So first up, Jono, who's your pick for this week?
I think a common thing with figures get underrated is that they're part of a tag team. They might just be looked at as one whole rather than two individual figures. With that being said, one of my favourite figures to use to play with as a kid was Nasty Boy Jerry Saggs. Surprisingly, I always thought it had a great action. You could do a lot of body slams, but my favourite was always the top rope splash.
Oh,
so he always did a good top rope splash. You could do any sort of move, and in the fact that most of the Hasbros were a bit limited in what they could do, this guy, I mean, you could allude to your Macho Mans or your Rick Martells as well, but I just thought it's actually quite unique in the fact that his arms are a little bit wider than the Macho Man was, and obviously those guys get more praise than this guy ever did. So Jerry Saggs, Hasbro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was Brian Knobbs that used to primarily do it, but that figure's great for doing the pit stop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always got confused between the two. I always thought that was Brian Knobbs until the Elites came out. Because I think they come in a 2-pack, didn't they, with Hasbro?
Yes.
So,
yes,
just say Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs. So I always assumed that, I always got them the wrong way around until I saw the Elites, and I was like, oh, that just blew my world apart.
Well, I'm still guilty of that. I didn't know the difference between Eichner and Bartel of Imperium, and I still got confused.
I think I saw the singles guys before.
Luke and Butch for me, from the Hasbros.
Yeah.
I don't think I've still got my head around it.
I think Luke's the less ugly one.
Well, whatever you fancy, Jamie.
Yeah, whoever floats my boat. Adam, who's your pick this week?
So mine's definitely more recent, 2017 mine is. It's just a figure that I don't think gets talked about very often, so I've got a monologue of stuff why I think this figure's underrated, and that is the 2017 Network Spotlight TJ Perkins figure. So Network Spotlight, first of all, is perfect for this figure. I think it was the perfect series for it to come out, with the Cruiserweight Classic being on the network. I think it's a reminder of a cracking, underrated tournament, not just the figure. You've got the likes of people you'll never see in that tournament before, Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi. You'll never see them in WWE again unless something dramatic happens. So I think for the independent crowd, that was very good as well. Perfect setting for the tournament with the crowd. As far as the figure goes, you've got your unique accessory in the figure. You've got your Cruiserweight Classic medal. It was the first appearance, I believe, of the Cruiserweight belt. It was the first appearance, I believe, of TJ Perkins himself. I think the likeness is really good. I think there's detail in the trousers that make it unique compared to a lot of other figures. I think if you compare it to the first release of Tyler Bates coming off the back of the tournament in the UK, this is a mile ahead of Tyler Bates. There was a lot of things wrong with that Tyler Bates figure, so I think for a kind of rushed a little bit figure, it's pretty good for it. And personal for me, we mentioned Toys R Us earlier, but these were only available in Toys R Us, I believe, for quite a long period. So this just flashed back from a memory for me of one of my last times I was going around Toys R Us. The only thing I think that could be better with it is the trophy for the Cruiserweight Classic. I'm not sure why there was a belt, a trophy, and a medal, but the trophy obviously isn't included. But it was quite a detailed trophy, and if it was a rushed figure, then fair play. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing I like about that figure is that it looks good in the box. I think they've positioned it well in the box. Like he's holding the title up, he's got the medal on, he's just wrestled. Was it Kendrick in the final?
No, Grand Metalik.
That was it, yeah. I think Kendrick beat him afterwards, didn't he, for the belt? Yeah, so I think that's why it looks good. If you're a mint on card and mint in box collector, it looks good. If it's out of the box, it still looks good. So I think that's always a sign of a good figure.
Well, with that, the finals, I really don't remember the final. I do remember watching the tournament. I think there was some great guys in there. I definitely didn't remember Mattel in the final, though. Quite surprised when you said that.
It was actually a really good match. Go back and check it out. Wasn't the best match of the tournament. I think that went to Alexander Ibushi was the best match of the tournament. And all the fans were chanting, "Please sign Cedric" afterwards.
I remember quite liking Zack Sabre Jr. and Jack Gallagher, actually, in that they were both quite unique styles. So it's a shame I haven't really got to see more of those guys, I guess.
Yeah, I think a really unexpected victory as well for me, for TJP. I don't think he probably wasn't the choice, if I'm completely honest. I think if Ibushi had signed a contract, then Ibushi probably would have won it. But I think him winning the final was quite a shock to me. Even when he got all the way through the final, I assumed Grand Metalik would win.
He was played suicide, didn't he, in TNA?
Yeah.
TJP, which I only found out, I think, just after the tournament finished. I think I was...
I just found that out from you, Jamie.
Well, there you go. Well, he also, the suicide was made through the TNA game. You had to control him to go through the game, and then they made it into a real person afterwards, basically, is the storyline behind.
I don't know why I thought that was Christopher Daniels.
No, he had a separate...
He was Curryman.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Why not? Right, so my pick for episode 1, speaking of tag teams earlier, John, I think this pick doesn't get the recognition it deserves because his tag team partner was so sought after and still is now. I've gone for Road Dogg. I've put a little thing on the Elite Road Dogg there. Only because, I think Billy Gunn gets a lot of praise in his figure. A lot of people are after his figure. I quite like the Road Dogg. Won't come with 2 T-shirts. Maybe displayed it with the DX one because of the other ones.
Which Road Dogg's that, Jimmy?
Sorry?
Which Road Dogg is it? Because there was 2 Elite.
Oh, it was the one without a T-shirt underneath. Cheeky.
That's Elite 26.
Yeah. So I think a lot of Road Dogg figure, a lot of tag teams get overshadowed by one. A lot of people are after the Billy Gunn one, whereas the Road Dogg one seems to always get pushed to the back. I quite like it as a figure. I used to really like Road Dogg back in the day. I think he was the mouthpiece, wasn't he, of DX? So looking forward to picking one up as soon as I started collecting again. And I was surprised to see that one was relatively cheap compared to the other DX members. I was going to put X-Pac in there as well, but I think Road Dogg just sort of takes it for me only because of the trouser details. Only thing missing, maybe have a top attached to him rather than a DX one like he had when he was on his run. But yeah, a bit strange to have him like that underneath. But yeah, I think that was a biggest shock for me. So I think that's probably why I find that a bit underrated, that figure.
But it was meant to come with the 2 T-shirts. I don't know if you knew that. It come with the Road Dogg T-shirt and the DX T-shirt.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why it was, bare-chested, so you can swap them out.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I've displayed it with the DX one, but it has the other one normally.
I'm assuming you've not got the hat because it's quite a nice little hat as well, the accessory.
The hat, No, because the hat basically got posted to me and it just fell out in the post, basically. So the figure
Should
arrived.
have said, I've literally just sold one yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those. I'm still bitter about it, to be honest.
Too late.
Yeah, still bitter about the hat because the guy basically packaged it not very well, and then when it arrived, it was open one end, and then the hat must have just fell out, or it was premeditated. And he didn't send the hat and sold it to you instead, Johnny.
Well, never know.
You never know. You never know. I also used the Billy Gunn's headband. So obviously Billy Gunn comes with 2 headbands. I've given one to Road Dog. I think it suits him a bit better. Not the best, but
I don't like that. It doesn't fit well.
well, send me a hat, Johnny, and we'll change it. Yeah.
Don't have it anymore. I told you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why it's a bit underrated. I enjoy a bit of a Road Dog figure. I could have used that one. I could have used the BCA one, but yeah, that one just sort of for me just takes it.
All right. But in terms of what you just said about everyone thinks of Billy, I've got to disagree. I don't think anyone thinks of the New Age Outlaws being, one much better than the other, or even the figure being any more sought after or better than each other. In fact, I'm not even a huge fan of that Road Dog because I do think it's a little bit too skinny.
Underrated. See, point of the segment.
Yeah, not good.
I think that figure cost me a monetary value, but I think that was like not me posted. The Billy Gunn I couldn't find for less than 20-25.
Right.
Because I think I also got into this earlier this year. I picked them up, so I think that's probably why.
I sell the Billy Gunn for much more than the Road Dog, but I think that Road Dog figure is very susceptible to damage. It's very easy marked and things like that. That Road Dog figure, so that could be why there's a bit of a difference in the prices there, rather than it being because one person favours one over the other.
Yeah, could be. I mean, as far as this is concerned, it seems pretty spotless. But
how is it easy marked? What makes you say?
I'm just going off all the figures that I've got. Either you've had some very heavy-handed figures, or that one always comes quite damaged to me.
You got to stop playing with them, haven't you?
I've never really experienced that in terms of like if you compare it to Billy Gunn, that sort of thing. But must just be got a few bad apples in your packages.
Maybe I've had quite a few loose torsos as well with Road Dog.
It might just be because there's more on him. I think Billy Gunn's just got a little tiny pair of shorts on, hasn't he? And some boots. Whereas,
well, he's got a top as well, so.
Yeah, obviously the top's not attached. Obviously with this, he's got full trousers. Maybe that could be why. But yeah, strange one. Next up, we've got our first ever One King to Rule Them All. Welcome back, and we have the first round of the One King to Rule Them All, where we're going to be looking at all the King of the Ring winners in figure form, all of them apart from Owen Hart and Kurt Angle, because Owen Hart hasn't got a Mattel, and Kurt Angle's only got the Entrance Great, which doesn't really match up to that. So, first up, the first match we've got, flashback to WrestleMania 13, we've got Bret versus Owen. Bret Hart from the Ringside Collectibles, and the flashback Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Not Owen.
Not Owen.
No.
Oh.
Here we go. Only a representation of Austin because we don't have the Elite flashback. This is the defining moment, but we are actually going to be comparing it against the flashback, not this one.
Well, this one. That's just a placeholder. Not made of money.
Placeholder. Indeed.
First of all, Bret Hart. Adam, what's your feelings on Bret Hart?
My feelings on Bret Hart is amazing. My feelings on this particular Bret Hart figure is it's just brilliant. So detailed compared to a lot of the other figures that have come out. It'll be massively in demand in a few years, if not already now. Obviously, Bret Hart face. Everyone's got problems with Bret Hart's face. It's not the best scan. But as far as the actual series, I mean, I'm looking at a boxed one here. The colours nice. He's got the accessories, got the scepter, the crown, and the robe that are all very detailed. The box is a proper King of the Ring box. Even the coronation picture on the back. But for me, this is a really good figure. I could imagine this being classed as a Grail for people.
Oh, there's a big word. So who you got? Oh, we're gonna go into the Austin straight away.
Well, yeah, I mean, and when it comes to the Austin, I think also it's an iconic moment, isn't it? And also to capture that in the flashback one. Yeah, I've got not much to say about Austin. Just said before, it is very, very similar to the Final Moments one. The only difference is the back of the jacket. It's not as, like, the box isn't as King of the Ring. The figure doesn't jump out at me as King of the Ring. So personally, I'm going to choose Bret Hart to advance.
Adam, would you like to add anything about Austin?
Yeah, I mean, the front of the waistcoat on the flashback one is completely empty as well, which I guess it should be because he hadn't done his 316 stick until King of the Ring. It's not a perfect representation. WWE seemed quite keen on doing the King of the Ring type figures representation. Maybe that's where your Michael Hayes is going, that we mentioned earlier.
Oh dear.
You never know.
Wouldn't it be called Doc Hendricks instead of Michael Hayes?
Well, it's a Doc.
But yeah, the Bret one is miles ahead of the Austin one for me.
Yeah, I've got to agree. We'll go a clean sweep. It's 3-0. It's Bret. It's a lovely figure, and I actually don't even think the face is too bad if you compare it to the other Brets we got.
The
robe's actually fairly unique and having like a short sleeve as well. So, and the pink's right.
Oh.
Compared to the recent one, that's like a salmon.
I think the back of it does look like, you know, your nan's rug, the jacket, but that's representation of the actual moment, wasn't it? So
it is, yes. But it's actually pretty good detail on the paint and stuff.
Yeah,
as well, so.
Exactly. It's
nice.
An all-round great figure.
I wasn't too thrilled when I first seen it, to be honest, because I thought it was just a bit of a daft one. But now that I've got it, now it's aged a bit, it's certainly grown on me. It's a good figure.
So next up, we've got Shamrock, Elite 52. That's Big Ken, angry as ever, versus King Mabel. There he is. That's not the chase, is it? That's the original.
This is the original. I'm not sure if this is the one for King of the Ring or not.
Yeah, it comes with a crown.
Either way, they're very, very similar.
The other thing about the King of the Ring, when Mabel won it, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Shawn Michaels apparently gave the winner away before the actual tournament started by walking out and sitting on the chair, whatever refers to the chair, at the throne, and then put the crown on his head and showed everyone that the crown was 3 sizes too big for him, signaling that he wasn't going to win. They cut that out of the network, and apparently he got a slap on the wrist for that. But yeah, apparently that's how people knew before it started that Mabel was going to win.
Yeah, it's a bit of a giveaway. I never heard that story, though. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, well, it's just classic Shawn Michaels from the mid-90s, isn't it?
You wouldn't have thought about it. It wasn't as if he was being the D Shawn Michaels that we've heard about.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but leading into that. But yeah, figures-wise, Adam, what's your view on these two?
I like both figures, to be honest. I think the Shamrock one, I really like the robe that comes with Shamrock. If we flip it round to the back, there's a nice little Shamrock logo on the back. I think facial-wise, they've put a nice little expression on him to indicate the anger that he had.
He snaps.
Yeah, his snap. He's got decent boots, or kick pads, should I say. Gloves on him. So I think it's a good figure, the Shamrock figure. I think a problem with it that I think me and Jono have had this conversation before. A problem with it is that he's very loose on the waist as a figure. in most. You can't really pick him up without having a little bit of looseness on the waist, when it's secondhand at least. Mabel, obviously not as good King of the Ring person-wise, but I think figure-wise, it's lovely. It's one that a lot of people just want for the appearance of it. It just looks like a great figure. Colour-wise, it pops. It's got a nice crown. I think the crown's is the crown different to Brett? Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody else with that crown, are there?
Not this one.
Bit strange with the packaging that it's a SummerSlam series, which doesn't make much sense. I know he carried on into SummerSlam to get a title shot, did he? But it still doesn't make much sense with it should have been a King of the Ring packaging for me. But yeah, I would go Mabel on this, even though I like Shamrock.
Yeah, I think what you were saying about the SummerSlam is that one of the attires definitely represents SummerSlam, where he faced Diesel for the title, and then the other one, I think, represents what he wore for King of the Ring. So it was like a chase in a way, but it's probably the worst chase they put out because it's very, very not different.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to stare at it for longer than 5 seconds to realise it's a chase.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to ask either, which is one thing that annoys me. Is that the chase or isn't it?
Yes, I'm not going to have the deciding vote this time. Well, in fact, actually, I am, because it's going to be 2-0. It's definitely the Mabel figure. Anything that's this big, this hefty, is always going to make a better figure than anything that's a standard size. Shamrock is nice; it represents them very well, but there's just something about the bigger figures that's more appealing, more toyetic. It's hard to beat them, and it's why they're quite sought after. Like things like Mabel and even Viscera just come out selling for more than any other figures. Andre the Giant is a good representation of that as well.
Typhoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Earthquake. And
yeah.
Vader. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's personally, this might be complete whack theory, but I think it's because there's more plastic in there. They don't make as much. It could be that. You've got a lot of them, Andre, Viscera, Mabel, they're twice the size of certain other ones. So then that could be a potential, but that also could be me just making that up. But
I think you're making it up because they wouldn't have done a chase otherwise.
Very good.
They probably bounced out across the whole series. Like I can't remember who it is in this series, but I know in the recent SummerSlam with Viscera, you had Miss Elizabeth, who's obviously using a lot less plastic than the Viscera would be.
Yes, I think that one was Taker, was in that one? The American Badass Taker.
Yeah,
which was the one as well. And Finn Balor and AJ Styles, I want to say. Maybe Seth Rollins. But yeah, I'd say, I completely agree. Mabel for me on that one. Not only because it comes with a crown, which is the King of the Ring, but I think just deco-wise in it looks like Mabel of that age. I think Shamrock did change his looks up every now and again, but there's not much you can really do with a Ken Shamrock figure. They did attempt it with the BCAs. I think he had 3 different BCA figures. He had shorts. He had shorts and tank top, blue pants and red pants. Shamrock. Yeah, I think the one that they've got. They couldn't have done more with the Shamrock one, but Mabel certainly takes it for me.
Yeah, I think with Shamrock, I could take or leave another one. I'll definitely buy it if they come out with a blue or a black one, but I can also live without any more Shamrocks at the same time.
Definitely. So that's it. We got Bret Hart and Mabel are both through to face each other in the next round. Exciting for everyone involved.
There it is, the matchup, the face-off.
Yeah, crown against crown, like Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Nice one.
All right, so next up we have the retro review. So next up we have the retro reviews. We're looking at the Mattel Retro Series and we're going to be scoring them and give the listeners at home a good chance to get involved. So first up, Season 1 for Mattel Retros. Johnny, who's in the series?
Okay, then I guess I'm starting off and we'll start off with Brock Lesnar. We're going to go alphabetical order. This is one of them, like the Hasbro Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, etc. Decent head scan, I guess, if you want to call it for the retro. All the tattoos are there. I'm doing this on the fly because I didn't have a chance to prepare any scores, so I actually quite like this one now. I've looked at it a bit more, but it's never going to be too high because it's all black. My score will be a solid 7.8.
Adam,
What do you guys think?
So yeah, I mean, John has summed it up in the fact that it does have all the detail. I mean, even that tattoo close up, the tattoos are very detailed. There's nothing missing from them. For me, the shorts just don't transfer over to the retro. I think the shorts just look tiny. I know they're supposed to because it's a retro, but it just doesn't go in my head. That one, they should be bigger for me, further down or something like that. But yeah, the face scan for me is pretty good. Score wise, I'm gonna go for. I like the action. I've always liked that action on Hasbro's, so I'll go for 7.4.
So for me, I think the only thing that they could have changed was the shorts. Having the black and red ones, I think were probably the only difference we could have had. Action wise, I think it's spot on. It's probably the best action. It's either that or the bear hug one they could have gone with if they were going to go down that road, but no one else has got that. So yeah, I think I quite like the action on that side of things. I'm going to score it at 6.8. Anything they could have changed would have been the deco of Brock on there for the shorts, really.
Cool. And we'll move on. We've got the champ, John Cena. This has a different action. I guess you could maybe compare it to the Andre the Giant and the Akeem, although they move backwards and forwards. This moves side to side in a attitude adjustment sort of position. Again, looks like the same lower body as Brock in a way. So I think we might take away points for that. Comes with a hat which is stuck on, can't take it off. And so I think it's a poor sort of color choice. If you're going to go Cena, make it a bit brighter, maybe even a more iconic look, maybe the green or something like the Thugonomics type era. I'm going to say this is only a 4.8.
Harsh words. I'll start on John, leave Adam with the last one. So I like the fact that the hat stuck on because it reminds me of the Hasbro's, because obviously when they had like the Berserker, for example, which had the helmet on there, and Sergeant Slaughter that had the hat on as well. So I think if it had a removable hat, I think it would have been a bit of a different story. So I think it reminds me of the Hasbro side of things. Well, yeah, body wise, I think it's a bit strange why that's. I can see why they've got the body like that, because you want to have one arm down, one arm up, attitude adjustment, pick him up, and so on. So I get that. But yeah, I think overall 5.5 for John.
Okay.
Myself, I agree with the points. I think the shorts do look a little bit better than on the Brock because the knee pads make it look a bit better. Again, with the hat, it should be stuck on if it's a retro in comparison with the Hasbro. I know what you mean about the pop of the colours, Jono, but I wouldn't say it's a terrible choice on the colour scheme. At least they've gone for two different ones and not just a bland one. Yeah. I hate that body. I hate it on the Ultimate Edition ones from Mattel. I hate that I hate the way that it's split in the torso. That's just a personal thing for me. So I would give this figure 5.5.
Lovely stuff. Shall we move on? It is Kevin Owens. Well, let's have a look at him. I'm not even sure what his action is. But this one is definitely like the Akeem Andre the Giant. Moves backwards and forwards.
It's the pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah, to represent the pop-up powerbomb. It's very stiff, though. It's very stiff.
I do like the way that they actually give them their actual moves that match their finishes and didn't make up finishing moves for them like they did with the Hasbro series. Because remember they just put on there like the $1 million punch, and it's like, well, Never did that. So I quite like that they've matched the action with the finisher.
Yeah, sure. So all black once again, a lot of black. But what can you do with the KO? The face isn't quite as good as an all, elite or basic, but it sort of goes with the territory of it being a retro. It doesn't have to be as good, or shouldn't be as good. I'm not taking into account that it's more valuable than the others because it was only available in USA.
Is there anything on the back?
It's nothing on the back.
Nothing.
There's a tattoo on the side. I would have to say this is worse than Cena, so I'm going 4.5.
Adam?
I think the head looks younger than Kevin Owens. It looks like a 25-year-old version of Kevin Owens, so I definitely agree on that. I think move-wise, it's a nice one to have the pop-up powerbomb. I've got this one on card. It's not the best card, but it's all right. Managed to get that for 20 quid, I think. That wasn't that long ago either. But yeah, figure-wise, it's not perfect. I like the T-shirt. I'm glad they went with that above a kind of whatever, Owens whatever, because they've done a few versions of them. But I prefer the more iconic Owens, as they'll say in a few years, of just the KO on the front. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as the 4.5 rating, though. I'd probably give it 6.0.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say if you flip the letters around on his T-shirt, it's okay, which is what the figure is. Very middle of the ground. It's like looking into a little tiny mirror for me. I'd say 5.1 is my answer for me.
Fair dues. Keeping on the Walmart exclusives, we've got the seemingly rare Roman Reigns. This one's a quite sought after one. Don't think we're taking into account that the value. We never do with these judgments. Comes with a punch similar to Jake the Snake Roberts back in the day, and he obviously represents the Superman punch.
Or the super punch, as the card says.
Yeah, indeed. Or some of them do.
Mm.
I'm not sure which one's the rare one. I guess it's the Superman punch.
Superman. Yeah, they released that first, and then DC said, and then they had to. Yeah, then I think they put a sticker over when they re-released it out, I believe. Yeah.
Mm. Yes, so all black once again. There's no other colours but the black and the skin tone, or a bit of white, I guess. This is, as you said, it's okay. It's probably better than Owens. The head, again, I think it's actually quite good. It's quite cartoony. I like that. The tattoos there on the arm, it's pretty nice. I would give this a 6.1.
Oh.
Mix it up.
Adam, what's your view on?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done the face well because it's supposed to be the kind of face he pulls when he's doing the Superman punch, which is well done by Mattel on that one, I think. I think with the Roman Reigns figure, as far as what he's wearing, obviously now he's changed it up, but back then you're never going to get very different. It's like you say, it's okay. I don't know the detail of the tattoos myself because I've not seen that one up close. I actually slightly prefer the Kevin Owens figure to this one though, so I'm going to give this one a 5.8.
Yeah, it's quite. I think out of all the retros, and that's one of the most sought after, commoner ones, should we say? If that makes any sense to you guys. So I think it was like
Grail.
Possibly, yeah. I think the Superman punch one certainly is. I think, yeah, on a whole, I don't know if there's much more you can do with a Reigns figure, other than take his top off, put his top back on. It's just strange. So, yeah, I think overall a 5.8 for me on Reigns.
Very good. Right, let's bring some colour to this. It's the Ultimate Warrior. Got the same action as the Cena, which I'm not so sure about because Warrior never threw the opponents to the side after the gorilla press. It was more like up and down, but I suppose it's still represents that sort of thing. Although I'd probably prefer if they went for the Brock type action. But then they'll have to make a new mold or something like that, I guess. But we've got a lot of colour. We've got the warrior in a grimacing look on his face. Seems a bit loose, this one, for some reason. A lot more looser than Cena was. But maybe that's just the figure I've got. Certainly my best so far. Put that into consideration. I'm going to give it 8.1.
Oh, high numbers. It is strange for Warrior to be loose because watching him in the ring is always quite stiff. 7.5 for me on that one. I think, I completely agree with the actions. It makes not much sense. The only thing I could think of is that they wanted to give him a gorilla press slam, but didn't want to recreate the Hasbro one that they had with the exact same move. So I think that could be why they didn't want to do it spot on, the same as that, a repaint essentially. But that's my rating for Ultimate.
So I'm going to rip it apart.
Go for it.
I don't like the body anyway, but this doesn't work for Warrior at all. You've already covered why it doesn't work. Obviously, anytime anyone initially sees an Ultimate Warrior, it's going to pop at them. It will. But for me, when you've got a package like this, and he's wearing the exact same attire that's on the package, and then it does not come with the paint on the chest, that is a no-no for me. Because he's literally the same face paint, the same wristbands, the same trunks, but then leaving the thing out on the chest is a massive error for me. I disagree with what Jamie said about the not making it the same as the Hasbro, because that's the point of these retros, is so people do think back about the Hasbros. So for me, it shouldn't have been the side-to-side belly. It should have been the press slam straight away. 4.1.
What? That is ridiculous.
It could have been a licensing thing, as I was thinking, for the Ultimate Warrior. They might have said to them, "You're not allowed to recreate the figures exactly." I didn't think of. But
I doubt it. But the thing, I don't recall that picture that you showed us on the packaging. I'd never seen him wear this attire with the paint on the chest. But obviously, it did happen, and they put it on. So that was probably a bad choice in picture. But we've seen worse.
Definitely.
So rounding out, we have the Dead Man. It's the Undertaker in the purple. This is action-wise, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be working. If it was any sort of action, have I done something wrong? Have I got a default?
It should be the Gorilla Slam, surely.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but it's not. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's working now.
Well, what a relief.
Yeah. So, yes, I guess it's similar to the Cena by the looks of the hands. Oh, sorry, not the Cena. What am I talking about? The Warrior.
The Warrior one, or the Brock.
So this is actually, as you were saying, Jamie, about being reminiscent of the Hasbros. This is pretty much Taker from the Hasbros, but in purple, which everyone's going to want instead of the grey. I think it's a good choice to put in Series 1. Maybe it could do a choke slam with it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that was the choke slam and a tombstone you can do with them, can't you? Which is
With Tombstone, you never get the body right.
depends who it is.
I was going to say choke slam.
Facially, if you took away the hair and the hat, you wouldn't say it was Undertaker, but it's a cartoon. That's what it's meant to be. Quite like it. It's not as good as Warrior, but probably better than any others in the series. I'll go 7.7.
Adam, your view?
I like this figure. For me personally, I think it's the best one out of this series. The purple Undertaker's always going to sell, and the colour's always going to pop. I think they've actually done quite a good job with the brightness of the purple on this one. Close-up face-wise, I've not had this one, so I've not seen it. The tie doesn't move, does it?
No.
Yeah.
It's moulded.
So yeah, that's in line with the Hasbros as well. So I think 7.6 for me on this one.
Yeah, I'd best choice of attire, I think, for him. I mean, the grey one we could have had, but once again, we've had that in the Hasbro. I think, yeah, you couldn't get a better pick for him. 8.5 as well on Taker. I have down for him because it's, just everything you
Quite
could possibly want.
I'm guessing it's won the series at least.
Yeah, definitely. As it should do. I think, season 1, I don't think they could have picked any better people for season 1. I mean, you can argue get The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold in there. Obviously, they're coming up soon anyway. But, I'd say that if you're looking at current day mixed in with historic people, then that's a good blend.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
Maybe Owens is a bit out of place.
Well, you can't have them all be mega stars in the first series. Otherwise, what's left?
Yeah. I mean, look what they did with the Hasbro line. I think season 1 they had a few mid-carders mixed in with your Hogans and whatnots, didn't they? Macho Hogan, Warrior, Bossman was in there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, Demolition, Akeem. Yep.
Mm.
Good mix.
Yeah, so a good mix in there. But so that's everything for season 1 there. So obviously next time we'll be covering season 2, which
series if you're in the UK.
Series if in the UK, season if in the US. Yeah, definitely. Obviously next time we'll be covering on there. And also next time we'll be looking at the next round of the King of the Ring One King to Rule Them All tournament, as well as looking at other underrated items. And make sure you get your votes in as well. As to who you think your scores for the Mattel Retros. That's everything for this week. We'll catch you guys again in a few weeks' time. Any last words, gentlemen, before we part?
Yeah, just about those retros. We are going to put a post on the 3 Points of Articulation Facebook page. We're going to ask you guys to do your own scores out of 10. We will put these into our scores, so each one of us will account for 25%, and the average score of you guys' scores will count for the last 25%. We'll leave that for about a week or so. Then we'll get a definitive score out of 10 for Retro Series 1, and we'll do that going forward for Series 2. So keep a lookout on Facebook.
Lovely, Adam.
Whatever you guys are watching on, as well as leaving us ratings for the retros, just give us some comments, give us some feedback, tell us some segments that you might want to see in the future, stuff like that. Anything helps us along. But I've enjoyed this chat, boys.
Yeah, lovely. Make sure that you enter yourself into the prize draw as well that we've got for the SummerSlam Elite Edge. You just got to subscribe and like the page and let us know that you've subscribed. Obviously, you get thrown into the mix on that one as well. So feel free to jump in on that. We'll be drawing that one very soon. I'll update the Facebook page as soon as with a time on that. But yeah, apart from that, gentlemen, thank you for your time, and we'll catch you again in 2 weeks' time.
See you later.
All the best.